for 5 years. And she's going to tell us the story about how and why she started her business in a different country, not speaking the language, and pretty hard language to master, and being an introvert. And how does that help her, or how does she take advantage of that fact? So please give a big round of applause for Juliana.
Raise your hand whether you consider yourself introvert. Wow. Now raise your hand if you consider yourself extrovert or something in the middle. Now raise your hand if you ever believe that in order to have a successful business, you need to be or have a extrovert personality. Well, that used to be the young Colombian version of Juliana, who thought that in order to be successful in life, you need to be a social butterfly. But unfortunately, that is not my case. Every time I go to a family meeting or even meeting a coworker or a friend, I always get the same comment. Is she really Colombian? Because my tone of voice is not so loud. I know the life of the party. I'm shy. I'm introvert. And of course, I don't look nothing social like that. Even on the I had this serious face, and I was not as smiley as people. So I was raised in the Caribbean coast, and as you can see from the photo, I was so trying to smile. I really felt out of place. I tried so hard to fit in, but I just couldn't. And thank God my school started to host foreign students. So I realized that they had the same serious face like me, they were quiet like me, and then I thought, okay, maybe there is nothing wrong with me, and just was born in the wrong place. So then migrating became like my main goal, not just to feel understood, but also to face my fear of networking, of meeting new people. So I'm going really ahead of time. And one of the places I migrated was Sweden. And when I arrived there, I say, yes, this is it. Quiet people, they like social distance. This is But when I had to book for a coffee meeting with a friend 2, 3 months in advance, that was not fun. I like spontaneity, and I discovered something beautiful in me. I like connection. I like to see the positive things even on the hardest day of my life. And that's my Colombian spirit. So then, when I was trying to find my place in the world, I migrated to Istanbul, Turkey. And guess what was my first job there? Was cold calling. So imagine my first week, I was shaking on the phone, praying the client won't pick up the phone. But then with time and practice, I started to become better at it. And I discovered something. Introverts can be great at selling, and here's why. We are great listeners. We don't interrupt, we observe, and we can understand what people like they are trying, what are problems they are trying to face, and actually those skills are good for business. So every time I go to a meeting, I try to check all the information regarding the client, prepare questions, and even visualize how the meeting will be, because that helps me to deal with my anxious feelings. So these qualities help me to be perceived as and even connect even on a more human level and not being perceived as a pushy seller. Introverts create meaningful connections, and this means that if we prepare the questions, it will let the other person lead the conversation, because normally people like to be heard and understood. So this support us with creating connections and feel more empathic. We can handle objections if we prepare in advance, and here are my advices for this. Always stay positive. So be sure that you have the right solutions for your client's pain points. Offer assurance. Let your client know that you will be there through all the customer journey. Invite for next steps. Usually a sale is not closed on the first meeting. You need to have further conversation with the client and have active listening. Hear, understand before responding. So most of the common objections I received on sales is, for example, it is too expensive. Here I always try to focus on my value proposition and what will cost to the client if they don't choose my solution. When they say we are happy with our current solution, so here try to highlight what makes you different from the competitors. And when they say I need to think about it, maybe ask, do you need any further information about certain topic, or are you happy to receive maybe some references where you can exchange some experience about the product or service? So when I was in Hungary and my student permit was about to expire, I started to ask myself, do I really want to depend my residence permit and my future on an employer, or I want to take control of my future? So this is where I took the decision to become entrepreneur, not just to like depend on an employer, but also wanted to have the control of my own voice. And as you could see throughout the whole history of my life, I learned how to prepare, how to connect, and how to listen. And those skills became the foundation of my business. So now that shy Juliana found a podcast called Wise Expats, where I give advice to third country nationals who wants to become entrepreneurs in Europe and especially Hungary. And I also wrote a book exploring the freelance world as an introvert, you can find on Amazon. So if you still doubting whether you don't feel good enough to build a business, if you don't feel loud enough, if you don't feel that you're a good salesperson, I want you to remember this. You don't need to be the loudest in the room. You just need to honor your communication style and be authentic. Because the world needs more empathic leaders and deep listeners, people like you. Aww.
Awesome. Thank you for the speech. And now it's time for the question and answer.